Imagine a time before time, where waters of chaos churned in the darkness, and the cosmos was but a whisper in the void. This is the tale of how a civilization explained the unexplainable, the birth of the world through the eyes of the ancient Egyptians.
So, how did they say it all began?
In the beginning, there was only none, the primordial waters. From these depths emerged a mound, and upon it stood Adam, the first god, the one who created himself. He was the spark that would light the fire of creation.
Self-created? That's quite a concept. What came after this? Self-creation?
Adam, being alone, gave birth to two children, Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. And from their union, the first divine couple, the world began to take shape, order emerging from chaos.
A family affair then. But I'm curious, Noah, how did they explain the sun and the stars?
Ah, the celestial bodies. Adam wept, and his tears gave birth to humans. But the sun, that was the eye of Ra, the falcon-headed god who sailed across the sky in his solar boat, bringing light to the world and battling the serpent of chaos, Apep, every night.
Battling a serpent every night? That's a job I wouldn't want.
Indeed, but it was a battle that ensured the sun would rise each day, a promise of renewal and hope for the Egyptians.
I can see why the sun was so central to their beliefs. It's like a daily victory over darkness.
Precisely, and with each dawn, they celebrated the victory of life over chaos, a cycle that mirrored their own lives. With the dawn of creation, the Egyptians didn't just stop at the birth of the sun. They spun tales of a world meticulously ordered by the gods, a reflection of their own society's structure.
Tell me more about this divine order.
It was a hierarchy, Olivia. At the top were the gods, then the pharaohs, seen as gods on earth, and finally, the people. Each had a role, a purpose ordained by the heavens.
A cosmic blueprint for civilization, then?
Exactly, and at the heart of this order was Ma'at, the goddess of truth, balance, and cosmic order. Her principles guided the seasons, the movement of the stars, and the very fate of all Egyptians.
Balance in everything. That's a powerful way to view the world.
And it wasn't just philosophical. The Nile's flooding was seen as Ma'at's doing, a gift that allowed life to flourish in a land surrounded by desert.
So, they saw their environment as a direct result of the divine. Fascinating.
Indeed, and it's why the pharaoh's primary duty was to uphold Ma'at. Any failure could mean chaos, famine, or worse.
No pressure for the pharaoh, right?
None at all. But let's not forget the gods themselves. They were numerous, each with their own domain and stories.
Like who?
Take Osiris, god of the afterlife, agriculture, and resurrection. His story is one of betrayal and redemption, a narrative that resonated deeply with the Egyptians.
Betrayal? Now that's a story I want to hear.
And you shall. But that's a tale for another chapter. As we venture deeper into the heart of Egyptian mythology, we encounter a pantheon rich with deities, each embodying the elements of life and nature that surrounded the ancient Egyptians.
Which gods are we meeting today?
Let's start with Osiris, the ruler of the underworld and the god of resurrection. His story is one of jealousy, murder, and the power of love to overcome death.
Murder? That's dark.
Indeed, Osiris was betrayed by his brother Set, the god of chaos, who coveted the throne. Set tricked Osiris, sealed him in a coffin, and cast him into the Nile.
How did he survive that?
He didn't, but his wife, Isis, goddess of magic, searched tirelessly for his body. She found him, revived him with her magic, and they conceived Horus, the god of the sky.
That's quite a twist. A god born from beyond the grave.
And it's not just about birth. It's about the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Horus would grow up to avenge his father and restore order.
So, it's a story of hope then?
Precisely, and hope was essential for the Egyptians, especially when it came to the afterlife.
Speaking of, what about Anubis?
Ah, Anubis, the jackal-headed god of mummification. He was the one who guided souls to the afterlife and weighed their hearts against the feather of Ma'at.
Weighed their hearts? That's symbolic.
Very much so. It was believed that the heart held all the deeds of one's life. A heart heavier than the feather meant a soul devoured by Ammit, the devourer of the dead.
A clear incentive to lead a balanced life.
Exactly. The mythology served as a guide, a moral compass for the Egyptians, influencing their culture and daily life.
It's amazing how these stories reflect their values and understanding of the world.
And that's the beauty of mythology. It's a mirror to the society that created it, a narrative of their world and their place within it. Now, let's turn our gaze to the mortals who were seen as gods on earth, the pharaohs. Their legends are intertwined with the gods, blurring the lines between man and deity.
How so?
The pharaohs were believed to be the living Horus, the sky god himself, and upon death, they became Osiris, ruler of the underworld. Their divine right to rule was more than just a title, it was their destiny.
That's a heavy mantle to carry.
Indeed, and their stories are not just about power, but also about the human struggle, triumphs, and tragedies. Take Ramses the Great, for example. His reign was marked by prosperity and monumental architecture.
Prosperity? In what way?
He expanded the empire, secured its borders, and his building projects were unmatched. Temples, statues, and cities like Pi-Ramesses stood as a testament to his glory.
Sounds like he left quite the legacy.
Absolutely. But it wasn't all victories. The Battle of Kadesh, for instance, was a clash of titans, Ramses versus the Hittites. The outcome was a stalemate, but Ramses spun it as a divine victory.
A spin doctor in ancient times, huh?
You could say that, but it's these narratives that shape the mythology around the pharaohs, elevating them to legendary status.
I guess it's all about the story you tell.
Precisely. And speaking of stories, there's also Hatshepsut, the female pharaoh who defied conventions.
A woman pharaoh? Now that's intriguing.
She was a trailblazer, extending trade routes and commissioning monumental works. Her reign was one of peace and economic prosperity.
It's impressive how they managed to thrive in such a harsh environment.
It is, and it's a testament to their ingenuity and resilience. The pharaohs were more than rulers. They were symbols of their civilization's might and ambition.
They certainly knew how to leave a mark on history.
They did, and their legends continue to inspire us, reminding us of the enduring power of stories. As our journey through the sands of Egyptian mythology comes to a close, we reflect on the legacy left by the ancients, a civilization that has captivated the world for millennia.
It's been quite the odyssey, Noah. What do you think is the key takeaway from all these stories?
The key, Olivia, is the human desire to understand and explain the world around us. The Egyptians used mythology to make sense of the natural and the supernatural, to bring order to chaos.
And in doing so, they've given us a treasure trove of tales that still intrigue us today.
Exactly. Their myths were not just stories. They were the blueprint for their culture, their government, their very lives. They built a civilization that mirrored the heavens.
It's incredible how their beliefs shaped everything, from their daily routines to their eternal resting places.
And let's not forget the monuments, the pyramids, temples, and tombs, all built to last an eternity. They stand as a testament to the Egyptians' architectural genius and their quest for immortality.
A quest that has, in a way, been fulfilled. We're still talking about them after all.
Indeed. Their stories have transcended time, and through them, the Egyptians achieved a form of immortality. They remind us that our stories, our cultures, are the legacies we leave behind.
So, what's the final message we can take from Egyptian mythology?
That life, like the Nile, is a cycle. We rise, we fall, we are reborn in different ways. The ancients taught us to seek harmony with the world, to strive for balance, and to respect the power of the unseen.
A timeless message from a time long past.
A message that will continue to echo through the ages as long as we keep telling their stories.